Do you want to get a lift kit that isn't going to break your bank account so you can go to places like this? Well, we have the answer for you. Formula 4x4 has come out with a new entry-level lift kit range for anyone that's wanting to improve their dual cabs off-road performance as well as comfort. And another benefit is this lift kit comes at an affordable price point compared to other full lift kits. It's called the Formula 4x4 Core Lift Kit. And in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly what it is, what you get in the kit, and how it's better than other entry-level lift kits on the market. Your typical entry-level lift kit looks a little something like this, and this is called a spacer block lift kit. And this goes on your existing suspension, either typically above or below your springs or struts. This provides an aesthetic lift, giving you a more aggressive stance and allowing you to fit bigger tires. However, it's important to note with spacer block lift kits, while it does give you extra height, it doesn't give you any added benefits or off-road capabilities. This is because the spacer lift merely just repositions the vehicle's body relative to the vehicle's wheels and doesn't actually change the suspension geometry or travel. The reason for this limitation is rooted in the design of your existing shocks and struts. These components have a set maximum travel length, which is essentially the maximum distance that they can extend and compress. When you lift a vehicle using spacer blocks, you effectively move the starting point of the shock's travel range. And as a result, while you do gain height, you lose an equivalent amount of down travel, which is the maximum distance that the suspension can extend downward. This can lead to a harsher ride because your suspension is now more likely to top out over rough terrain. And additionally, because we haven't increased the suspension travel, the vehicle's off-road performance remains largely unchanged, or in fact, it's made worse. To help you better understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain what shock travel length is and show you exactly what happens when you add a spacer block to a standard shock. Firstly, your standard OEM shock like this has a fixed length when fully extended and when fully compressed. And when you're driving around day to day on those roads, your shock's constantly extending and compressing, absorbing those bumps and dips in the road. The maximum distance between the fully extended and fully compressed lengths is what's called shock travel. To make this clearer, I've marked the fully extended, fully compressed, and center points on the shock. In a vehicle without a lift kit, the shock's position most of the time is roughly in the center of its travel range. The central position allows for a decent amount of movement to handle bumps and ruts effectively. When you add a spacer block to lift your vehicle, the shock needs to extend to accommodate the new height. For example, if you add a 50mm or about 2-inch spacer block, the shock now sits higher by about 50mm. Now let's look at what happens when you try to extend the shock to simulate the wheel flexing into a rut or hole. You'll notice there is very little to no movement left. This is because the standard OEM shocks are designed for the original vehicle height, and the added height for the spacer block takes up much of the shock's travel. As a result, the shock is already near its fully extended position, leaving little room for further extension when the vehicle encounters a bump or a dip. This reduces the effectiveness of the suspension, leading to a harsher ride and less ability to handle rough terrain. To prevent this issue when using a spacer block, you need to use aftermarket shocks specifically designed for lifted vehicles. These aftermarket shocks should have extra travel built in to accommodate for the extra height from the lift kit. This means that these shocks can extend more and compress more, which means they retain or even increase the amount of up and down travel overall your vehicle has. This ensures that your vehicle can handle ruts and bumps effectively, maintain that smooth ride, and increase the off-road performance. For this reason, Formula 4x4 has introduced their new range of core lift kits. This comes with front pre-assembled ready struts, which the springs can be changed out to suit whatever weight you have on the front, such as bull bars or winches. It also comes with rear spacer blocks and rear shocks, which are specifically designed to suit that extra height from the spacer blocks. This ensures that your vehicle is not only performing great, but also maintains that comfort. This combination ensures optimum performance and handling for your lifted vehicle. With Formula 4x4 shocks, you gain the travel necessary for suiting the lift, preventing any loss of down travel. In fact, you'll actually increase your down travel because Formula 4x4 has designed these shocks with that capability in mind. It's important to note that these kits in particular aren't designed for anyone wanting to add additional load in the rear, and that's because it's maintaining your factory rear springs, which have a set load rating. Now, if you are wanting to carry additional load in the rear of your vehicle and get a lift kit, we highly recommend looking at the standard Formula 4x4 lift kits, which come with upgraded springs front and rear. If you're looking to install this lift kit yourself, well, the Formula 4x4 Core lift kit is made pretty easy. So with the front, you've got the pre-assembled front struts, which means you just have to drop out your old ones and drop in your new ones. For the rear, you're not needing to change any of the leaf springs or shackles, so you just need to change your rear shocks, put in the spacer blocks, and change the U-bolts. If you're not wanting to install this kit yourself, Fulcrum offers a very convenient click and fit service, which means that you can get this kit installed at one of our local dealers across different states in Australia, with over 160 stores nationwide. We also offer a couple optional extras for these kits, such as the upper control arms. And if you're wanting to change those shackles out for greasable shackles and bushes, we have those available as well. For most dual cab vehicles, we highly recommend you do get the upper control arms just to make sure that you have a proper wheel alignment and you avoid any of the clearance issues that can be caused by the lift. If you do want to know further details regarding that, we already have a very detailed video on our YouTube channel, which might help shed some light regarding why we recommend getting upper control arms for most dual cab vehicles. If you want to know more about these kits in particular, feel free to head on over to the Fulcrum website where you can go check out the product details there. Otherwise, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down in the comment sections below and I'll be happy to answer them and get back to you on them. Otherwise, guys, get out there and go exploring.